It is Saturday, June 8th, and our trip is winding down. We are leaving for our 20th and last country, which is Norway. On the way, we pass through Sweden. We are headed for Kongsberg to spend 3 nights with my cousin Steve and his family. It is about 425 miles. We will spend 12 wonderful nights in Norway and one really bad night. The blue line shows our route for today. The red line shows the approximate route for our 13 days. We have arrived in Oslo, the capital and largest city in Norway. Oslo has a population of 1,082,575 people, which makes it over 4 times larger than the second largest city, which is Bergen. My cousin Steve met us at the train station, and then we went to the Munch Art Museum, pictured here with his son Chris. The Muka Art Museum opened in October 2021. It is dedicated to the artworks of Edward Munch. However, we did not go to see the art, but to dine at the top floor restaurant and see the view. We are walking across the bridge of the Vigeland installation located in the center of Frogner Park. The Vigeland installation, opened in 1940, contains 212 bronze and granite sculptures, all created by Gustav Vigeland. The park is the world's largest sculptured park made by a single artist. Vigeland cast naked sculptures so they would never be outdated by their clothes. After leaving Oslo, Steve drove us to his house in Kongsberg, about 50 miles southwest of Oslo. The next morning, we went to the Kongsberg church with Steve, which happens to be an historic church. The church was built between 1740 to 1761. It has a simple exterior, but is quite fancy on the inside. Virtually all fixtures in the church are made of wood, but the pillars and surfaces have been marbled. The King of Norway is Harald V, who married Sonja Haraldsson in 1968. Harald participated in the 1964, 1968, and 1972 Olympic Games in sailing. Following the church service, which also included a special concert by 2 different choirs, one I think was from Oslo and the other one was from Denmark, We went to the nearby Kongsberg Mining Museum. The Norwegian Mining Museum documents the history of the former Kongsberg silver mines. The museum was established in 1938 and opened in 1945. As early as the 15th century, there was mining in the area. First it was copper, but between 1629 until its closing in 1958, it focused on silver. From 1686 to the present day, all Norwegian coins have been minted at the Royal Mint in Kongsberg. What are all these awards for? Besides the Mining Museum, the museum also contains the Kongsberg Ski Historical Collection. Norway has won more Olympic medals in ski jumping than any other nation, with 35, 11 gold, 10 silver, and 14 bronze. Austria is second with 25, and Finland third with 22. Around the year 1900, the Ruud family bought a small cabin in the forest near Kongsberg. During the years 1918 to 1919, the boys cleared a sports field in the forest near the cabin. The sports field developed through the years, and by 1936 to 1937, it had got a diving tower and a tennis court. There was no organized training, just all-around physical games. There was no strict training schedules. The boys participated whenever they felt for it. Later, after the first championships were won, the ski jumpers realized how important the all-around pleasurable training had been for their success. Previously, there were a lot of cultivated small fields in Kongsberg. During the winter, these fields were used as ski slopes and ski jumps by children and adults. Many places, the terrain was steep and suitable for preparation of ski slopes. Even the more experienced ski jumpers began exercising in small slopes before they went to the larger hills. Kongsberg was the best nation. Norway finished second. These words were expressed by one of the jumping judges after the competition in the World Championship in Lehe in 1938, where jumpers from Kongsberg took gold, bronze, and number 6. In just over 2 decades, from 1928, athletes from Kongsberg dominated ski jumping nationally and internationally. Play, joy, and unity were key concepts. Join us and see over 5,000 cups and medals won by Kongsberg jumpers. Experience playful and versatile training and the development of skiing. Birger Ruud remains the only athlete to win an Olympic event in both ski jumping and a downhill event. But medals were not given for downhill events when he won. Despite that, skiers from Kongsberg have won 15 Olympic medals. My Uncle Ben and Aunt Bee's children from about 1945. Cousins John, Steve, and Priscilla. Steve's family, but not so many years back. Anne-Marie, Maya, Steve, Chris, and Carrie Ann. Steve's wife, Anne-Marie, is a very talented artist, both with her paintings and her sculptures. I took a few pictures of some of her work. I think her paintings are in the style of Expressionism, which emerged in the early 1900s with Edward Munch. However, I'm not sure. Maybe it's Impressionism, or some of both. I should have asked Anne Marie. Unfortunately, I neglected to get a picture of Chris while in Oslo, and Maya and her 3 children left before I thought of taking their picture. It had been 46 years since I had seen Maya and her parents. It was great to see them again, and the new members added since that time. Anne Marie, Steve, and I in front of his house in Kongsberg. A few pictures of the back of the house and around the yard. The next day, Steve drove Ruth and I and their dog to his summer home near Valve, Norway, about 75 miles southwest, nearby Skagerrak Bay. We enjoyed a boat ride around a fjord, but I misplaced the pictures. We also went for a beautiful hike and enjoyed a shrimp dinner that Steve cooked. The next morning, Steve took us to a train station. Anne Marie arrived at the train station from Oslo, and we got on and went to Stavanger, a trip of about 250 miles. We will pass through some of Norway's best agricultural land on the way there. Norway exports more than half of its food. It can pay for this primarily with oil. Norway is second only to Saudi Arabia in oil exports. It also exports hydroelectric power, fish, lumber, and other minerals.